Choosing the right association management software, honestly, it can feel like you're walking through a minefield. You make one wrong move, and bam, you're locked into years of frustration, wasted money, and unhappy members. Two of the biggest names you're going to run into when you're making this high-stakes decision are your membership and MemberClicks Pro. So, how do you make the right call for your association's future?
So, you've boiled it down to these two. Now what? Most execs find themselves asking this exact question: which one's better? It seems simple enough, right? But as you're about to see, the answer is anything but.
Okay, let's dive in. But first, I want to challenge that initial thought. The goal here is not to find a winner. It's about finding the absolute best fit for your association's unique needs, your goals, and your budget. This isn't a competition. It's more like a strategic matchmaking process that's going to have a huge impact on how successful you are down the road.
So to get you there, we're going to walk through this methodically. First, we'll set the stage. Then, we'll stack up their core strengths and their limitations. After that, and this is key, we're going to turn the focus inward with the critical questions you have to ask yourselves. And finally, we'll land on how you can find your best fit.
All right, first up, let's get the lay of the land. We need to understand who these players are and, where they sit in the grand scheme of things. Now, what's really interesting here is the context this gives us. Your membership, which is part of Momentive software, kind of straddles Tier 2 and Tier 3. That means it's built for those mid-sized associations that often have more complex needs. On the other side, you've got MemberClicks Pro, part of the Personify portfolio, and it's planted firmly in Tier 3, which is all about small to mid-sized associations. And look, this isn't just jargon. It tells you exactly who they're building the software for. You can see it right in the numbers. YM is targeting associations with slightly bigger budgets, while MC Pro really zeroes in on that small to mid-size space.
So now that we have a better handle on their market positions, let's see how that actually plays out in what they do well. And remember, we're just focusing on capabilities here, not making any recommendations.
Your membership's big story is its incredible feature depth. I mean, we're talking a whopping 35 native features right out of the box. It's designed to be this comprehensive, all-in-one solution that can handle pretty much anything you throw at it. Users consistently rave about their hands-on implementation specialists who really hold your hand through the whole setup process. And for associations that are all about engagement and education, having that built-in online community and native learning management system, well, those are absolute game changers.
MemberClicks Pro, on the other hand, really hangs its hat on the user experience. Its biggest differentiator, if you ask its users, is its incredibly responsive, hands-on customer service that's just always there. You pair that with a cleaner, much more modern interface that's actually a pleasure to use. It's also got some cool, unique tools like the review panel for managing things like awards or grants. And, this is a big one for your finance team, QuickBooks integration is included, not tacked on as an extra cost.
I love this quote because it perfectly illustrates the difference. MemberClicks Pro is like a well-stocked food truck rather than a full-service restaurant. Think about that. It offers a fantastic menu of all the essentials, and it does them exceptionally well. It's not trying to be a fancy 5-star restaurant with a giant menu. It's focused on delivering that core functionality with great service and a modern vibe.
Of course, every strength comes with a trade-off. No platform is perfect, right? And understanding these compromises, well, that's where the real decision-making really begins.
So for your membership, the trade-offs are pretty significant, and you really need to be aware of them. The most common complaint, by far, is its user interface. It's constantly described as dated and clunky. The second major point of friction is the complete lack of pricing transparency. You have to go through a whole sales process just to get a number. Add on an extra cost for QuickBooks and some reports of inconsistent support, and you've got some serious things to think about before you commit.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This quote from a verified user really sums it all up. When the experience your members have is a priority, and it should be, this kind of feedback is absolutely critical.
Now, MemberClicks Pro's trade-offs pretty much stem from its simplicity. With fewer native features, associations with really complex needs might find themselves hitting a few walls. Getting a truly custom, professional-looking website often means you need someone with coding knowledge, which can be a real challenge for smaller teams. And while it does integrate with other systems, some of those connections have been called clunky. Critically, it lacks a native way to manage multi-chapter or regional structures, which is an absolute deal-breaker for some organizations.
So let's talk pricing. The crucial point here isn't just the dollar amount, it's the whole philosophy behind it. MemberClicks Pro is totally transparent. They publish their pricing tiers right online, which makes budgeting and planning so much easier. Your membership, on the other hand, operates on a custom quote model. That can be frustrating, time-consuming, and it can leave you wondering if you really got the best deal. This difference in how they do business can be a huge deciding factor for your board and finance team. It's a strategic choice.
Okay, now that we've laid out the entire landscape, it's time to turn the focus inward. The right choice depends completely on your answers to a few key questions.
First things first, how complex is your membership structure, really? Do you have all these intricate, multi-layered tiers, complex renewal rules, and demanding tracking needs? If you do, your membership's bigger feature set might be better equipped to handle all that complexity right out of the box. This next one is a big one, so pay close attention. Do you manage multiple chapters, regions, or federated groups? Like we saw, this is a pretty big functional gap for both platforms. If the answer is yes, you need to dig very deep into their workarounds, or maybe even start looking at other solutions altogether, because this could be a major deal breaker.
Okay, next, let's be honest with ourselves about design. How much does the look and feel of your member portal and your website actually impact engagement and retention? Your answer to that question puts MemberClicks Pro's biggest strength directly against your membership's most cited weakness, so this one is crucial. And finally, a question about governance and just, fiscal responsibility. Is transparent, predictable pricing a must-have for your organization? For a lot of associations, being able to budget without some long, opaque sales negotiation, it's a non-negotiable. So you have to decide if that's a deal breaker for you. Answering those questions honestly is what's going to illuminate the path forward and help you find your best fit.
Because that's what this is all about, right? Finding the best fit. The best fit is that sweet spot where a platform's strengths directly solve your unique problems and its trade-offs are ones your organization can comfortably accept and live with for the long haul.
Ultimately, this whole decision boils down to a core strategic choice about your priorities. Are you going to prioritize a deep, all-in-one feature set, even if it means you have to put up with a dated interface and unclear pricing? Or do you value a superior user experience, amazing service, and budget transparency, even if it means you have to give up some native tools? So what's next? First, just acknowledge that this is a complex decision, and that's okay. You're not alone in this. Use this framework we've walked through to evaluate these platforms against your specific needs. Decide which set of compromises you and your team are willing to make. And finally, before you sign on that dotted line, validate your choice with an expert who can help you make the best possible decision for your association's future.
Because a decision this critical for your association's future really shouldn't be made in a vacuum. To find some clarity in all this complexity, an independent consultation can make sure that the platform you choose aligns perfectly with your budget, your structure, and your growth plans. So don't leave it to chance. Book a consultation today and let's make the right choice for your association.